Today we're going to do things a bit different. Those of you who watch this channel regularly will know that we bring you the biggest and the latest MetaQuest reviews around the time that the game launches. But today we're going to be doing an early preview of World War Z on MetaQuest. World War Z is an adaptation of the popular console game, which is an adaptation of the movie, which is an adaptation of the book. That sounds like a pretty long road, but honestly, you don't really need to know any of that. What you do need to know is this is a first-person zombie shooting action game for the MetaQuest. And what it delivers is alright. It's pretty good in that respect. There are some issues, some of which we hope will be fixed before launch, and others probably won't be. But as it stands, with the time we've spent with it, World War Z is one you should be looking forward to. The game is set in linear levels in which you must start at point A and reach the final goal, point B. And along the way, you'll find new weapons and ammunition and health items and encounter numerous zombie enemies. And this is one of the big parts of the console edition of World War Z, the amount of zombies that are in the game. And we'll get to that shortly. In VR, it's a bit different, but it's still good. As you progress through the levels, you'll find that you'll have an objective marker which tells you you need to get here for the next part of the story to happen. And generally when you reach those points, not always, but generally you'll find, oh, now I have to kill a horde before I move on to the next area. It's pretty simple and formulaic in places, not too dissimilar to Zombie Army VR, which you can find our review of up here. But on the whole, it actually works very well. There's a huge amount of different weapons and equipment that you can have in order to take on the zombie hordes. And as you complete each level, you'll earn rewards, which can then be spent to unlock new ones and buy upgrades and so on, as well as different skills and abilities. Now, in the console version that we're going to keep referring to here, the different skills and abilities and weapons and things that you buy have an impact when you're teaming up with friends. So you start pretty standard, but you can specialize and become a special operative in your team. Here in VR, the game is entirely single player. You have 2 AI buddies that accompany you on all of your missions, and they are pretty efficient. They will take out a lot of the zombies before you get a chance to. But it's not the same as playing with friends, of course. You are in command at all points, which means if they are low on health, you have to make sure that you are healing them with the limited healing equipment that you have. You have to choose, do you heal yourself or do you try and keep one of your AI teammates in the game? And I found personally, in my experience, it's much better to have at least one of them covering your back at all times. So, if you only have a small amount of your health resource and you need healing and both your AI teammates do, probably best to heal yourself and one of them to full health. If one drops out, so be it, as long as you've still got one guy covering your back. And you're going to need them covering your back in those intense moments of the horde shooting. Taking down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 even zombies in a tight alleyway isn't particularly challenging. It's when you get to the open areas and they start pouring in from all sides. Here, they can become a real challenge, especially as very early on in the game you're introduced to a different variety of zombies. For example, you have those in hazmat suits which take much more ammunition to take down, and when they do, they release this poisonous vapor thing. These different zombie types create a different kind of challenge. No longer can you just back away against the wall and shoot them as they come towards you, because if that hazmat zombie gets too close, it's still going to damage you if it falls down before it's reached you. So you have to take these things into account, and you have to choose appropriately when to use certain weapons. For example, you can start with a silenced pistol, and that's great when you're in the alleyways taking down 1, 2, 3 zombies. But when you get to the horde, you're going to want something automatic or maybe even a shotgun to do high damage up close. And then you throw into the mix things like grenades, which sound great when you're fighting a horde, but if you're on a tight space against a lot of zombies, you're going to end up damaging yourself with this. So again, it's a case of balancing your damage output with a tactical advantage. And that honestly relates back into keeping one of your AI teammates with you at all times, because the extra gun really makes a difference. There are mission objectives in some of the missions, but they're generally simple things like collect item, deliver to destination. And generally, as you do this, it's either in the middle of fighting a zombie horde or will activate a zombie horde. It's pretty formulaic and you can see where things are going, but that doesn't make it any less fun. One of the most entertaining elements of the PC and console flat screen edition of World War Z is when you are on a high point and you have zombies pouring in below you, scrambling over each other to create a pile of undead bodies to reach up to your level and eventually break over and come towards you face to face. And this does exist in World War Z on MetaQuest. We're going to talk now about that selling point, the USP of World War Z, being the zombie numbers, the amount of enemies that you'll see on screen at any one time. And while it doesn't quite live up to PC or even console standards, it is incredible the amount of zombies that you can be seeing and preparing to fight at any one time. They still will pile up their bodies trying to reach up that higher level. They will still come from all directions, dozens at any one time. I can't remember the specific number that developers have said that it can reach, but it is in excess of 100 easily. And those numbers on a standalone VR headset are very impressive. The zombie character models may not be very detailed and the animation is a bit poor in places, but by and large, it is a believable and immersive experience. You genuinely feel when these zombies are pouring in and trying to topple over one another to get to you. There is some tension here. There is need for you to be efficient with your weapons. And sadly, while the volume, the amount and variety of weapons that you have at your disposal is really impressive, the reloading mechanics are not. So the game offers you a bunch of different options as to how you want to play, both comfort and in terms of gameplay loop, the execution of the gameplay. And one of the things that bugged me about this preview version, which I don't think is going to be fixed in the final version, is you can set your reload mechanics to basically simple or realistic. And when playing with the realistic mode, there's still too many button presses involved. For example, when reloading the shotgun, you'll eject whatever you've got left in it if you have any ammo in there. You'll grab your ammo from your pouch on your chest and line it up to reload the shotgun. However, you can't simply push the bullets in. You have to hold it there and then press a button to start the reload animation. I don't know why they've chosen to cut that step out. Why are we breaking immersion at that last final step to press a button? Other games have done this, reloading a shotgun rounds manually, pretty well, and I'm sure World War Z can too. And sadly, there is quite a bit of this, having to press buttons to do things which could simply do with gesture controls, using healing potions and so on, and also for throwing grenades. I can understand that sometimes you'll want to have a gun in one hand and a grenade in the other, but pressing a button to pull a pin rather than actually physically pulling it seems like a layer of abstraction that isn't needed for an immersive game. So World War Z is coming to MetaQuest incredibly soon, and we're obviously going to spend more time with it, ready to do a full review with the final release version. But for now, if you're looking forward to this game, you should be sure that it's going to at least deliver a good, enjoyable zombie shooting experience. Hopefully, with a few tweaks and fixes in the last few weeks, we're going to get a great one. Stick around with 131XR to find out more about World War Z as that launch approaches.